marker for the kind of brand that you have built. So that's something that one needs to do. And like I've said, in this fast-changing world, you cannot repeat what you said in the past, and you got to be innovative in your efforts. Some of the issues: acceptance of products. I have another story to say. We have the municipality in one of the Tamil Nadu, what you call little towns. They're having pumps which are running, giving water to the public, and the total connected load of those pumps is 75 kilowatt. So they had this grand idea they should save power. So they came to us, we did a study. My man goes back and tells him 20 kilowatt, this is the pumps that you need. And he's accused of being wrong. He can't change. Impossible, he says. And how do you get acceptance? He says, no, impossible. So I don't believe this. So you give me this 20 kilowatt, give me a backup and a backup for a backup of 60 kilowatt. He said, we came here to save you power and money. We have not come here to sort of replace what you have. So a situation comes when you have to get acceptance for products, because in the industrial sector, people want to play safe. They want to just repeat what is there because it worked for donkey's years. So the British left behind something, we would like to replace the same. And this, the first instance of this I came across in Tata Steel. In the year 1999 or 2000, we went to Tata Steel. They said, no, we will replace what is there with what we can get 1-to-1. Pumps that were designed in probably 1890. We said, you don't need this pump which is 20 kilowatts, we can do it 2 kilowatt. Finally, to get acceptance, we had to give it to them free. Said, run it for 3 months. If it doesn't run, give it back to us. And only then they believed that 2 kilowatt is enough. So this is the kind of situation that you have. How to get acceptance, especially when you have vendors. And the vendors are sort of doing whatever they want. You don't have a real connect with the end user. And how to influence convictions that there is a better product with valuable offerings compared to the existing. The problem that we face, how do you communicate this in your brand? After all, you can say only a few words. How do you communicate this? Especially India, an unbelievably cost-conscious market, which is good. But the expectation that I will get gold, I will pay only the price of copper, especially in the industrial market. It's not in the gold market. They don't question. You buy gold, you buy it at the current prices, no problems. But when you have a gold equivalent industrial product, no, I can't pay for this. I need to pay only so much. So this is another situation. So how different can we be? Other than sound products, can we look at training schemes, custom-built guarantees, trade-in allowances, credit arrangements? We do all kinds of things, and we try to build a brand around this. Imagine we went and did, I don't know how you put it in Tamil. I'm not very conversant in Tamil, though I can speak it, but an exchange scheme like to do for pressure cookers, we did for pumping systems, which is in Bombay, because they didn't want to change. I mean, I was asking you guys, are you crazy? Why are we doing this? He said, no, let's try it out. I said, okay, go try it out. And in Bombay, it worked. This is not a consumer product, but it was a huge bloody system there with the 4 or 5 pumps with all these computers, and we did. Why? We found what was the pain point of the customer, why he wanted an exchange scheme. He was not paying us any lesser, but he had to pay to get rid of it, and he didn't know whom to go to. So if you understand where his pain points are, then you are doing the right kind of branding. He didn't know whom to give it away. So you take away this headache. So it was a nice exchange scheme. The whole thing, to me, very crudely put as a sham. But he likes it, we like it, the business is done, nobody's getting gypped off, but everybody's playing a game. So the brand building is also a bit of this game, but we cannot lie. So how do you, I won't say economical in the truth, how do you say the truth in innovative ways is the question, again for brand builders. So this is something that we need to do in industrial brand building. We cannot just say new, improved like they do in soaps. I don't know what is new, what is improved. It's another, it's another shape. And I see some people buying food products, and it's very strange. I've always been a student of buyer behavior, whichever way it is. And when I go to a store, which is very rare, I keep watching people as to what they put their hands on. And there's this whole lot of people, the moment they see the word healthy, they grab it. I somehow feel that maybe they're not really sort of health conscious to go to a gym or to work out. They want to eat all this healthy stuff and think that they're going to be very healthy. A nice way of branding it, but that's the way it is. So this is something that comes out. So ultimately, the strength lies in the product performance as far as industry goes. It is not unlike the thing. It is really product performance. It's not the smell of it or the texture of it. It's performance which matters, and whether the brand delivered its promise. Ultimately, this is what people look for. Are we delivering what we say? Which is why the advertising industry should be very careful about what we say, because that can have a serious repercussion on the businesses which come up later. And whether all our activities are aligned with the promises made. Every action, whether conscious or unconscious, I've already said, is highlighting our brand. And every action an employee of an organization or its distributors are brand ambassador. Whether you like it or not, you're a brand ambassador. You behave badly with somebody in a bus and you have your company's name, your company is finished, you're not. Because that is again reinforcing what they think about the company as such. Although you have nothing to do, you're in a private time fighting with somebody. So these are all issues that are there, and so to build a brand, it's not enough to communicate and just leave it on print media or any other media. You got to sensitize your employees to live that brand right through in everything that they do, including the piece of paper that goes from your office, including the phone call that comes to your office, including the way that you're greeted when somebody comes to your company. One of the things that we did as part of our culture and the brand is that if somebody is coming to our office, I don't know how effective it still is, but people tell me it still is, and they've taken an appointment, we don't make the person stand outside the gate in his car like a criminal and then questioned for a lot of things, and then somebody comes, get off and sign. No. We tell them, let the car in, you go to the car, give the thing, sign it, give them the thing, tell them this is the parking lot for you inside. And the first two parking lots and the most immediate parking lot are reserved for visitors. It's not parked outside. Why? It's a part of your brand building exercise as to what you stand for. And that has to be a common, what you call, thread in all that we do. And that's very difficult to live it all the time. So that is why you should promise very carefully. If you promise badly, you're going to be in deep, deep, deep trouble because somewhere you're going to trip up. So this is the situation. To stand up to the reputation built by branding, to have a sustained impact on the minds of consumer, to retain or attract customers who migrate to new competitive offerings. You cannot help but people go to competitive offerings. Have you the strength in your brand to get them back once they taste something? This is something that you need to look at. The competitive edge that one has, and continuously you have to communicate. Look at what the topical issue is, communicate. To tell the same story in a different fashion to different, that's not shareholders, that's stakeholders. I was furiously typing before coming here. I thought I'll speak first, but I said, okay, let me put it down. Without compromising the values of the brand or the organization. Can the same approach as consumer products be used for industrial products too? I doubt it. Some of it is common, of course, branding is branding, but the same approach possibly will not work. I spoke about buying behavior variations. I spoke about stakeholders in the decision making. I also spoke about the others. There are many touch points with the customer, and as many touch points, there are that many pain points, which is what I spoke about your the security guy, the receptionist, the telephone operator, somebody who's perhaps an employee of your distributor. You really are not in control of those touch points, but as many touch points are there, that many pain points exist. We got a furious call one day saying, never buy Grundfos pumps again. I said, what happened? Your distributor's man came drunk to my house and delivered a pump. I said, whoops. Now what? Now you have to go to the distributor and sensitize him. And I asked him, who's this guy who delivered pumps? No, he was the employee of the guy, who operates whatever it is. He's not even the distributor's man. So look where your reach is going. And how are you going to sensitize that person who perhaps is paid a measly wage, that he cannot be drunk when he goes and delivers, the effect is not on him, not the distributor, but the brand. Serious issues out there. So that's why I said that there are as many touch points, that many pain points, and then your brand has to sort of really live up to what you're talking about. Reinforcement. Well, as a marketer, these kinds of industrial products need a lot of focus, and you have to keep reinforcing. Like I said, if you're planning to sell to an engineer, then think like. If you sell to Japanese, then think like one. No? Or you can't talk English to a Japanese, even though he understands. You will not. He will pretend also not to understand. But you need to talk the same language. So if you're talking to somebody, if I talk to an advertiser, I have to talk the advertising language, because then you create an empathy. So your brand has to talk the same language. So when you build a brand, when you communicate, in how many languages are you going to communicate? Languages literally and languages figuratively, because you have that many different people that you're talking to, and how do you bring all this to a common base? I know that I'm leaving more questions than answers, but I don't have the answers. I'm asking you guys, and do you have the answers? Is anybody thinking on these lines from your community and working along with industry? One thing that I've seen in the US, that the industry and the academia work together very closely. Unfortunately, we don't do this in this country. I've been trying to talk to a few people that we should be more often, because some research has to be done, and unless these two work together, it's very difficult. It takes a lot of time and specialized skills, that is for sure. It takes years to build a brand and days to kill it, and that I think is true for most things. Format, language has to be easy, yet you have to say everything in the world, and that is something that I don't know, again, very difficult. In fact, most of the time, it's not so much the pictures that we look at, it's the copy that we keep arguing about. I said, no, this word can't be used, that word can't be used. It means something else to somebody else. We had an ad for a pump which pumps sewage, and the bright boys in Love came up with, finally a pump that cuts the crap. I thought it was a great ad. I showed it to the Europeans. They were shocked. How can you use words like this? I showed it to the Australians. They were thrilled. So now you have different people with the same brand building, the same communication, means so different things. And that the HSBC ads are very apt that way. It means different things to different people. So how do you go about this exercise? So marketing industrial type products invariably comes with a very dull image. Now, if you have to brighten it out, you can't really do, skin deep kind of changes. You really need to structurally change the way that all your employees in the extended arms think, act, and behave. That's the essence of true branding for an industrial product. One mistake, one wrong word from anybody will set you back by quite a large amount. So this is basically what is very important. I won't sort of go through all this. This is sort of standard stuff that my guys gave me, and every one of you know this. Yeah, they sell freedom. This is the crappiest bike I have seen on the earth. Overpriced, underperforming, and most ungreen animal, but it's an icon. I will buy it. In spite of me knowing all this, I'll buy it. But I can't say the same of an industrial product. So this is the situation. Whereas this industrial product is genuinely an industrial product. Nobody touches and feels it. You don't open your computer and say, is this Intel? But look at the way they have really captured the minds of people. With one sticker. All they had was one sticker, 2 words, Intel inside. And that has changed the entire, I think they have a huge market share. They've almost killed their, except for AMD, none of the others exist. This is kind of thing. Take, for instance, Microsoft. Okay, not an industrial product. The only company which gives you dud products and makes you pay to repair it. Version 1, dud, you pay for it. I'll give you version 2, improved, you pay for that too. Can any of us claim an industrial product, you give something which is not working, you have warranty, not warranty for 5 years also. But Microsoft, no. It will quit on you every 2 seconds, but then you buy